Hey guys, it's Leonard here. Now, in this video, I want to share with you a very important subject, and that is how much does it cost to begin and start your very own sales agency? Now, first things first, it varies. However, for me, over the past couple of years, I have had and made a number of mistakes that have both cost me time, energy, and money. Now, I want to share with you some of the mistakes that I've made in my journey of building my first sales agency in the Philippines when I was 20 years old, and also how you can avoid these mistakes when you're building your agency. Because when I first started my agency, I was 20 years old, low on self-esteem. I didn't have the finances to really back the things that I was doing because I was pretty much putting all my money on flight tickets, and I was risking a lot to initially get my business off the ground, not knowing exactly what I was doing. So the system was very blind to me. However, what I've learned over the past couple of years is how to simplify the process and the system and avoid the costly mistakes that I've made over the years. And I want to share that with you today. Now, one of the first mistakes I made when I first started my very own sales agency was I was over-analyzing the information that was available to me on starting a business. You see, the problem with over-analyzing is you find out very quickly that there is a lot of information online. A lot of people have a lot of advice, and sometimes not all advice is good advice. And for me, being very low in confidence and really doing it for the first time, I found myself reading and trying to adapt new things into my business week after week. And what I learned in doing this is that I was actually complicating the process and not focusing on what was working. And that is a big problem for agency owners. What easily happens over time is people begin to diversify ideas and offerings and products, bringing too many freelancers in and offering too many services, and in the end, not focusing on the thing that is working, and unfortunately ending up breaking the model and complicating the growth of the business. And that's a mistake that I personally have made. And when it comes to building an agency, one thing that I've really mastered and I've really emphasized in all of my agencies is keeping it simple. Now, another really big mistake that I made when it came to actually starting and building my agency out was having low self-esteem and undervaluing myself. Now, for those of you that know about the sales agency already, it is a very simple process. And for me, at the start of owning the sales agency, being the middle person between the freelancers and contractors in the Philippines that were out there marketing to the Filipino nurses about the opportunity I had, and the educational universities that had the courses ready for them to actually learn from, I didn't find it comfortable at first charging a high rate because I didn't see the value in myself or even the amount of work I was doing. And it's a mistake that a lot of agency owners make. We undervalue ourselves because we feel that the position that we are in within the agency is so small and the work that we're doing is small, when in actuality we're playing a very big part in the picture. You see, for me, what I came to realize is that the contractors that I was working with and the freelancers that I had on my books, I was providing them with a consistency of work. And this is a time where it's really hard to find work. And I was actually able to give them a consistency of work. And for the universities, I was able to get them Filipino nurses that they didn't have the finances or budgets to go out to market to. And because of this, I was actually helping more than one party in their journey. And a big mistake that I almost made was undervaluing my service because I felt that I played a small part in it. And that's a mistake that you should avoid right away if you can today. When you're putting an offer forward, you cannot be bringing in a low self-esteem or doubt in how much you're charging, because you are playing a big picture in the whole ecosystem of the agency, the clients, and the people working on behalf of your agency. So one thing that I have really emphasized within the Sales Agency Accelerator is charging high tickets, charging a value amount that actually really supports what you're doing and not feeling guilty about it, because that's a really hard thing for agency owners to have, that guilt that lingers inside of them, thinking that maybe I'm charging too much or too little. And it's understandable, but it's not when you look at the bigger picture. A third costly mistake that I've made, especially as I started my agency when I was 20 years old and I was still young, is allowing the lack of experience that I had in the field that I was going into to feel that I was unworthy in providing the offer into the market space. Listen, it is not about the experience that you have. It is really about the deliverable that you're going to be providing your clients. You cannot and should not be letting the idea of your lack of experience in the offering that you're bringing to the market prevent you from stepping into it. You see, for me, I built a reputation in the Philippines by stepping into the market, not by having experience in the market, if that makes any sense. And a lot of the time, I've talked to a lot of people that are on the fence on starting their agency, and a lot of the common excuses or points that are made are around the experience side, and there is no better experience than starting. And when you start and you actually complete your first client's request and their job, you then become qualified. And that is what I look at when it comes to owning an agency, making sure that I'm able to actually provide my clients with the outcome that they wish for. Because at the end of the day, in the Philippines, I was able to get Filipino nurses into universities in the UK. The universities were happy, and so were the Filipino nurses and agencies and representatives I had out there that were trying to get them to get into these courses. And that is what you're focusing on, the end result. Now, all of these small mistakes have taken a really big toll on me during my journey. And for me, I felt that I had to do it that way because there wasn't the guidance, mentorship, or advice on how to do it right. I was doing it pretty much for the first time. However, it doesn't have to be this way for you. And this is why I've created the Sales Agency Accelerator program, to actually give people like you the chance to have the blueprint and the step-by-step program on starting your very own sales agency, while providing you with the mentorship that is required to start and scale your very own sales agency to 6 figures within 6 months. You see, for me, if I had a blueprint, I know I would have avoided a lot of the mistakes that I made initially. And if I was to put a number to how much I spent in mistakes, honestly, I would be embarrassed. However, it doesn't have to be this way for you. So if you're interested in really understanding how you can start your very own sales agency, I'd strongly suggest that you click on the link below and set up a call with one of my representatives, and they'll be able to see whether or not the sales agency business model is a fit for you. Honestly, I am excited that you are already in the process of beginning to understand the opportunities in the market space that are open for you. And whether it's the sales agency or another industry, I'm happy and confident in telling you that owning your own agency is the right step in the right direction. Listen, I love sharing these videos with you. Make sure you comment below and subscribe if you're watching this for the first time. And other than that, I will see you on the other side. I'm Leonard Sekyonda. Bye now.